of the Airmen pressed for blacks to be trained not only as fighter pilots, but also as bombardiers. Finally, in January of 1944, the 477th Bombardment Group was activated. The group never saw combat. The Army purposely sabotaged the 477th since the Army did not want blacks to fly bombers. They were shifted from base to base and kept in crowded facilities. On April 5, 1945, a group of black officers from the 477th stationed at Freedman Field, Indiana, were arrested for refusing to obey an order that prohibited them from using the officers' club. Although they never made it to war, they helped break down racial barriers. My grandfather was involved in one racist exchange on his way back to Tuskegee.
Went back to Tuskegee, and after I had done my Air Corps Basic at Keesterfield, Mississippi, Air Corps Basic, and I went to Texas when my godmother passed, Houston, Texas, and on my way back, I stopped at Biloxi, Mississippi, where Keesterfield was, and I knew some of my fellow Air Corps men were still there, and I got off the train and asked one of the fellows there at the bus stop there if this was the bus going to Keesterfield, and he wouldn't give me an answer. So finally, when the bus filled up and they were getting ready to go, he let me get on, and I had to stand in the door of the bus.
When the war in Europe ended, the men returned to America. They were still being treated as second-class citizens. Finally, on July 26, 1948, nearly 3 years after Germany surrendered, Harry S. Truman signed Executive Order 9981 integrating the military. After the war, the Airmen refused to let the history of their struggles be forgotten. They created the Tuskegee Airmen, Inc., which educates youth about aviation careers and history and provides scholarships. The Detroit chapter teaches students ages 11 through 15 how to fly. After 10 hours of training, some are even allowed to solo.
Let's put it the way Chappie James used to say. This is my country. I'll hold her hand. I'll fight for her. But damn it, I'll make her treat me the way she should.
Some airmen are still being awarded medals today for their service during the war. They went to war seeking a double victory. A victory against the racism in the States, and a victory against the enemy abroad. They explored every avenue to overcome the racism that they encountered. In doing so, they dispelled the notion that black men are inferior to whites, and they exchanged that myth for the reality that they too can soar.